Well, hello, and welcome everyone to our BG5 Live. Great to have each and every one of you here with us today. And today we are focused on determination. So we're just talking about that right before we went live. So today is September 21st. This is 2021. This is episode 123. And today we're going to take a look at trait 46, which is all about determination. So we're going to take a look at trait 46 in quality 1. So we're going to be taking a look at the determination to be discovered, being at the right place at the right time, that serendipity. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. Before we jump in and get started, let's say hello to our panel. So Anna, hello, and welcome.
Hello. Nice to see all of you. Thank you for letting me be here.
Yes. Always lovely to have you here. And I love the flowers in the background and how they match. It's really beautiful.
Perks me up, makes me feel like I'm happy in my body.
Yes, exactly. And let's go to Linda. Hey, Linda.
Hello. Yes, happy to be here. Hello, everyone, and determined more than ever.
Yes. I love it. And then let's go to Shelley. Hey, Shelley, welcome.
Hello, everybody. Great to be here today, learning about living life in the body.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm Karen Sherwood. And again, welcome to our BG5 Live. So let's jump in and take a look at the determination to be discovered. So just taking a look again at September, the theme of September that we looked at before is the emotionally inspired confusion to find meaning in the past, to resolve conflict that we took a look at last week, to push upward, working on what has been spoiled. So we've taken a look at abstraction before completion, the confusion. We've taken a look at realization. Last week in the 47, finding meaning in the past, also oppression. We also took a look at friction last week in the 6, the feeling, emoting, and sensitivity, also conflict. So again, you may have noticed that last week. And this week, we're taking a look at determination. So we're starting off determination here, pushing upward, the love of the body. It's also coordination as well. And then next week, we'll take a look at correction, taking a look on working on what has been spoiled. So also the background frequency, the background has also changed as well. So I wanted to take a look at that. If we take a look at the current environment, we've shifted from the 34 in quality 5 to the 34 in quality 4. So we're still in personal power, but this is personal power and triumph. So it goes right along with this determination, this triumph. It's the freedom in absolute victory to the unlimited use of power. It can be the tendency in victory to restrain excessive power in favor of a more subtle or covert style, or it can be ego gratification in the unrestrained use of power with impunity, inevitably leading to abuse, right? So the 34 is all about power. And again, it's really focused on our own personal power and how we use that personal power. And again, this triumph and victory, how do we use it? Do we use it, in a good way, or do we use it in a not so good way? So it's something to pay attention to in the background, both in your life personally, but also in the bigger picture of things across the globe and on the news, etc. Now, the future direction is contemplation with application. This is recognition and awareness that can only be transformed into action in cooperation with those that have the ability to act upon the understanding. Again, we're dealing with quality 4. Quality 4 is about influence. Quality 4 is about intimate, the more closer connections, if you will. It's about networking. So it really is, again, taking a look at it in the background, in the world, in your life, in the news, where people are collaborating. And again, awareness that can only be transformed into action. So not just awareness, but awareness that can be transformed into action in cooperation with those who have the ability to act upon the understanding. It can also be the teacher whose students transcend them, or it can be the tendency to prefer theory over application, right? So looking at everything, but not actually putting it into action. So again, just a couple of notes to pay attention to, and it just recently shifted into quality 4 from quality 5. I don't know if Shelley or Anna or Linda, if you see anything arising out of this, or if there's any recognition with the trait 34-4 or the 24. Crickets.
Yes, just contemplating. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, just what came to me as you were talking about it, Karen, is the way those two traits need to work together. Because you look at the personal power part being about unlimited use of power that can be used either, for good, or the unrestrained use of power. But because it's with the 20, it's the recognition that that transformation can only happen if we're cooperating. So to me, that it sounds like a really great space to be in, where we're recognizing our personal power and recognizing that we need to collaborate and cooperate with each other in order to get the most out of our personal power. So that's just sort of what came to me as you were talking about it.
Yeah, really beautifully said, Shelley. Exactly.
Actually, I do have a comment segueing from what Shelley just said. In the contemplation and the application, it's easy to contemplate, that's simpler. It's the application of whatever you're contemplating, whatever action you're inspired to follow. That's where real life happens. And it takes not only cooperation with other people, but cooperation with yourself, with your design.
Exactly. And remember, in September, we're still taking a look at that theme of connection and bonding, right? So this really highlights that connecting, that bonding, and using our personal power in the correct way so that we can have things manifest, and create it and take action, versus what you were saying, Anna, with just contemplating versus really taking action and seeing it show up in the world. Yeah, beautifully said. How about for you, Linda?
Yeah, I also feel like that we experience also the abuse of power, but that we are able in the now to feel like, okay, to contemplate what it means, what is happening now, because I feel like the power struggle is rising. I feel like the balances are off. I feel like, in lots of countries, there is lots of power, there's lots of violence, there are lots of demonstrations, and I also saw something in Melbourne with people that are working in construction that are now really demonstrating. So I feel like maybe I feel like it's balancing out in what way power is to be wished for in the now and for the good of the community. What do we want? And I feel like it's tilting over in order to find a balance again. And I feel like that's how we are going, really to apply how this works for us in this moment of time, because we live in turbulent times, and also to find a cooperation within finding that balance. So
Right.
I find it really interesting.
Yes, exactly. So this is something, again, to really pay attention to and watch how it shows up, like I said, in the world, in your own life. So this is what we're learning, if you will, as a collective, with that collective background frequency. So, and it's about empowerment, right? The 3420 is the strength of charisma. And so utilizing the strength of charisma to use your power to be present to how to use it in the most proper way in the now. So let's take a look at our theme of the day. So the theme of the day is determination. So it is the 46. This is pushing upward. This is the determination of self. This is the body and the body as a temple. So it's the love of being in the body. It's the love of the body. It's one of the love traits. And this is the love of the body. This is the serendipity. This is the good fortune that may be perceived as the result of serendipity, but derives from effort and dedication. This is the overnight success that took 20 years. So it looks like all of a sudden, the serendipity, this good fortune, all of a sudden we're going to be talking about being discovered, and this good fortune. And it doesn't arrive from luck, even though it may look like luck. It's after this hard work, this dedication, this determination finally gets you to that place of that serendipity and the good fortune. This is to accept one is in the right place. To accept that one is in the right place is deeply spiritual. So I want you to take a look at what's on the other side, or what grounds the 46. I find this also very fascinating as well. If you take a look at what grounds the 46, what you will see is you'll see the 25. The 25 is universal love. It's one of the other love traits. And this is also deeply spiritual. It's the priest, it's the priestess. It is what you believe. It is part of competitiveness, but it really is in a larger organization. It's the spirit of the organization. So it's interesting that to accept that you're in the right place and that you're in the right time. It's deeply spiritual as well. It's what grounds the 46 is that 25, that universal love, that connection to all that is. And this is also succeeding where others have failed by surrendering completely into the experience without expectation. Now, this circuit stream is connected to emotional intelligence. And this circuit stream, if you have expectations, you can build and build and build with expectations, but you can crash in disappointment as well. So one of the things about this particular trait and the ability to succeed where others have failed is surrendering completely to the experience, allowing the experience and to learn through the experience versus trying to force anything. And again, it's being in the right place at the right time for the magic to happen by following your decision-making strategy. Again, this is the love of the body. This is also the body intelligence of being at the right place at the right time. Sometimes it doesn't make sense, but if you really truly trust your decision-making strategy, it'll bring you exactly where you need to be, exactly when you need to be there. And it's also coordination. Coordination is one of the Penta strengths. So it's one of the small group strengths. It's one of the small group skills of coordination. This represents coordination. This is the feel good of the small group Penta. This is, in a sense, the sexiness of the Penta. It's what pulls it together. One of the things that's very interesting about this trait, and we'll see this as we go through, this particular trait, the 46, after the 46, what we will be taking a look at are all of the traits from the survival instinct. So in a sense, it kind of kicks off all of the traits from the survival instinct, this 46. And so it's a very, very fascinating trait. And again, it is that determination to stick with it no matter what. So I would love to hear from our panel. I don't remember who has what. I do not have either the 46 nor the 29 on the other side. I don't know if either of you have, or any of you have either the 46 or the 29.
I
Yes,
have the
Anna.
46-1. Yeah.
Mm.
Um,
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. I love this trait. I just feel so blessed. And let's see, you've got 47 there.
Oops. Yep.
Um,
It is. Where is it? You
so
have
I
it
have,
consciously. 40.
it's
There it
on-
is.
Yeah.
It's in your judge and discipline.
Yeah, yeah. And basically, I used to have a life coach that said, would always say, "How is life coaching you today?" And to me, Saturn or discipline is your personal coach. And so this has been a lifelong study, I guess, for me. And it's been a very pleasant one, not always pleasant, but I have the 25 as well. To me, if I do let go and listen to my body, things always work out fine. And I had some really good conditioning as far as a lot of good health habits for, my grandfather, my father, so there was a deep appreciation for health and well-being, and how you treat your body and eating well, exercising, being generous, not self-condemning, a lot of those kinds of things. Those were positive conditionings. One of the things recently, as some of you know, I went through chemo and radiation. And after those treatments, I thought, okay, now I'm going to heal my body with food as medicine, because that's my background, alternative health education. So I had this great little plan in my head, and I did the research and I was going to do this whole dietary regime. Well, my body did not like those ideas. And radiation chemo can operate in your body for months and months and months. So it's a new experience to listen to my body in its present state. A lot of my old systems don't work right now because of the inflammation and various things. So that's been a real lesson. And it's like, oh, okay, so what do I eat today? I'm supposed to eat this and this and this to be healthy, but nope. My body, I have to stand in the kitchen and sort of, it's like, okay, what am I really drawn to? Not just taste wise. Taste is one of my ways of assessing things. So that was one level. But while I was really sick, one of the things that happened, I had no will, I had no energy. I really had to let my body do its thing. And it was a profound experience to really, because I do trust my body. I have a very strong constitution, that kind of thing. So I just had to lay in bed and let my body do this. And it took time. There were times when I couldn't tolerate water even, but I knew it was all part of this whole series, this whole cycle of things, because it was happening in present time. But I would contemplate, in the background of things, what was occurring before this event? What beliefs, what things am I shedding? What things am I loosening up and freeing up? And it was a constant sort of activation and then surrender, activation, alertness and then a surrender. It just, sometimes I was in tears at how profoundly my body knew exactly what to do. And
right.
it was really, really at a deeper level than I had ever experienced before. So I love the 46.
Yeah. Yeah. And the lessons that you learned in being in the body, and loving your body, through all of this. It's really amazing. Thank you, Anna. And Linda, you have the strength, correct? Yes, you do.
I'm a discoverer. So, yeah, for me, especially also the 46 is profound because I just entered my 40-year milestone. So the 46 is in my future direction. It's completely unconscious, but I feel like I loved what Anna was sharing. I felt like the first part of my life, I was getting caught up in the mind, living in my shadows, thinking my way through life. And when I was in a car accident, and a couple of years later, I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, I just surrendered to life. I said, okay, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm not going to fight anymore. I just do whatever you want. Life, I don't know. So, and then my body took over. And because it's also completely unconscious, I feel like my body consciousness has taken over. And it has led me, and for me, it's in quality 3. So it's pioneering my way and to stay with what brings success. And I feel like coming across BG5, that was the first time that my body really resonated. I never felt so drawn into something. So that was the first, hunch to a new road that I was going to, not knowing what to expect. I really completely had to surrender. And that's what this strength is all about. I can succeed where others fail, but I can also fail where others succeed. So when I enter with my mind, I fail, because then I'm doing things incorrectly, or I'm going to initiate. But I also feel, because in my past direction, I've seen lots of crises and lots of things that really made me experience how life can be, and also how to overcome crisis in a practical way, in the 5th line. And I feel now I know that BG5 and what I'm doing now is my way. And I don't know where it will lead me. I never had expected to teach, for example, but here I am teaching as well. And I feel like I have, and that's why I also love this trait and the determination to, I know my body knows, even if my mind is scared about teaching, or about, oh, I'm not doing it correctly, or I have to back off. No, I just proceed. I just move forward into the unknown. And I also, and that's also, thank you for pulling up the slide, it's effort and dedication. I feel like in my life, things always went not that smooth, but I always had, and people also shared it with me, you are so happy. I said, yeah, I'm healthy. I'm living my life. I have lots of things to be grateful for. So I feel like it's I don't know why I said it, but it's a kind of a positive trait. I feel like it gives you a affirmation to life, kind of. I don't know why I say that, and I also now come more and more to see that being at the right place at the right time happens when I surrender. Yes. And maybe I will say about that, because it's the feel good of the small group. I always bring joy, because there is so much to be grateful for. And I also love that in Anna, because she has been through so much, and look how she is radiating her light. And that's the determination, and also to have faith in your body. And one thing that I want to point out that comes across my mind is that in the past I was able to not eat. When I was mad at myself, I was just saying, okay, well, you are not allowed. Yeah, it's not that complicated. But sometimes I said, okay, well, I didn't take care of myself. Let it put it that way. And now I cannot do it anymore. And my body tells me what I need. So I intuitively eat. So I really know, okay, just like Anna shared, I'm in the kitchen. And when I want to eat really bad things, I eat them. Yeah, and nothing is happening. It's okay, because my body tells me you need the chips and the French fries and the things. And I said, okay, well, okay, I don't mind. I like it. But then also I can, for 2 weeks, I don't eat that at all. So I feel like it's a totally surrender to what your body tells you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, Linda. I love that. I love that. And Shelley, I think you have the 29, right? On the other side.
Yes, I do, which sets the 46 up for quite the shadow for me. And when I first learned about the 46, oh my gosh, so many things in my life made sense. My mom had the 46, and like Anna, I got some really good coaching around eating healthily. I was a weird kid who liked vegetables and anything that most people thought tasted awful. And what I found happened for me with this as a shadow is, oh my gosh, I was driven to find all the ways that people could be healthy in their lives, and driven to educate everybody who would listen, and even some that wouldn't. And so this dove me headlong from the time I was a teenager into natural health, alternative health, all the ways that we could eat and exercise and take care of our body. I'm an expert in all of that. You ask me anything about any of those for the last 4 decades, and I can tell you all about them. So I dove deep into that because I think without having the 46, and like so many women especially, I ended up with a lot of body image issues. And I've heard this from other people that either have this in an open center or don't have it, that I feel like this being a big shadow is part of that whole process of us being conditioned to what's expected, how we're expected to look, what we're, how we should be in our bodies. And so I received some really great conditioning and also some really negative conditioning, which makes the whole thing really confusing, especially for myself, where I have an open identity and direction. I have no clue who I'm really supposed to be. So that all added together to create quite a huge, and because I have the 29, I have the determination to just keep going and keep trying to figure it out. Being open in the inspirational center and having the 47, I can see how all of these things all play together. And the minute that I found out that the 46 was about the love of being in the body, it was like, oh, and I shed 4 decades of carrying all that information around, thinking that was the answer to all my problems, was I just had to have more information. It's totally, we just came across that somewhere else. It's not about having any more information. It's about really understanding who you are and who you're not, and letting go of who you're not. And I, like Linda, now just enjoy eating whatever my body tells me to eat. That is somehow, somewhere along the line, I connected with that part of myself, and for quite some time have just been looking in the fridge and what do I respond to as a classic builder? What do I respond to? Oh, that looks good. I used to ignore that because my knowledge brain that had gathered all that info said, oh no, you can't have that. It's too many carbs, too much fat, whatever the decade happened to be. And now I literally just follow and it's so funny, I've gone this whole circular route with my mom because she's had this and been struggling with her own body image and her own weight issues her whole life, and come to me for information and coaching. And somewhere along the way, a naturopath told us both, well, it really is calories in, calories out. And I thought, oh, that can't be. Look at all this documentation, all this evidence of all the different ways you should be eating, and nothing to do with calories. It actually simply comes down to that. If you eat too many calories, your body will store it as fat. So that's what I've gone back to, that real simplicity, is I just make sure I'm not eating too much. And my body tells me that too. No, I'm kind of full now. But I enjoy eating all of the healthy food that I've always enjoyed. And I eat the fries and the potatoes when I feel like it. And the stuff we consider bad, and even carbs. I found out I actually need carbs to survive.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I love that, Shelley.
yeah, that's
I actually want to go to this real quick, because we were just discussing it. So I thought I'll jump here of, how you get affected when you're connected. You've been talking about the shadow of trait 46, because that shadow is something that has really taken hold. So I'd love to hear, Shelley, your reaction as I go through these pieces of how you get affected. So the question is, do you find that you have the commitment and are ready to work, but don't really know what you're working towards? Do you try to force or make things happen? I heard you say that. It's like, okay, we need to get this. We need to make it happen. Do you say yes, but you lack the juiciness of simply doing something for the sake of doing it? There has to be a reason. There has to be a purpose. And do you give up on things when it gets hard, despite your commitment?
I can see all of those themes throughout my life, for sure. Definitely, I have all this energy. I have the 4 energy centers defined, and commitment, especially at work. I would be ready to go. Let's go, you guys. Come on, let's get this built. And everybody would say, well, wait a minute, what are we building? Doesn't matter. Let's just get it done. Something that's better than what we have now. So, and yeah, I did quite often want to just make things happen, or get everybody moving, so that we could make progress, so that we could create something, better than what we currently have. And yeah, I've only recently learned to only say yes when I really want to do something. My energy was available for anybody and anything that asked for it. I never knew how to say no before. I would just jump on board, and then it would be hard to keep going when I wasn't committed to the correct things for me, and that would burn me out. That would knock me down, and I would have to then face the shame of saying, sorry, I thought I could do this and I can't. Or
Yeah.
I would push myself through it and do it anyhow, and it would feel terrible the whole way through.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be satisfied at all when it was done. So yes, definitely all of that.
So here's the problem. So the problem is that you may have a tendency to say yes to everything, what you just said, and
Yeah.
then try to force it to make it happen.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said.
Yeah.
You may struggle with simply surrendering to the experience without expectation. And you may give up too soon before the magic of the experience has its time to unfold. And the solution is that you're designed to work in partnership with someone who can help coordinate the experience that you say yes to, in a way that allows everything to unfold magically without the expectations. So working with someone else allows you to relax into the progress, enjoy the experience, and work it through to the end, even when it gets tough.
Okay, Anna, it's me and you.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of the electromagnetic, of that connection, of working with someone that they bring what you don't, and vice versa. And when both of you bring what the other does not have, it can create a beautiful synergy, and that beautiful creating the magic and the synchronicity that's available.
Yes.
I love that.
And to comment, I mean, to use what you just said, Shelley inspired me to say more about, if we back up for just a minute, more about the open ID, identity and direction. I have the open identity and direction, even though I have 46 defined. And I've noticed, because the function there is about, when you're lost or you're not sure where to go and this and that. But really, the 46 has always been a compass for me. And it's one of the things that I used to teach clients and my students and all of that, how to track your body, how to stay connected to your body. So when I would be lost or uncertain or whatever, my home, even though I've lived in many different places and moved and all that stuff, my home was really in that spiritual place. And that was, I could always come back to that. And that would lift me up and that would give me energy. And as a non-sacral energy person, my authority is in initiating. So it's not just a yes and no response to that strength. But if I'm muddled and my energy is a little too low, or I'm not in faith, or I'm not in that nest of grace, that's kind of what I call it, then it's harder to initiate. It's harder to inform. I'm not as coordinated in that process of using my design. Yet when I find my home internally in that sense of grace and surrender, that's when it starts to coordinate again. I can initiate, I can move forward, I can inform, I can do all these other things. So I just wanted to say that in terms of the function itself and the different strategies that people have. It's not all about just yes and no. There's other strategies involved too.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Beautifully said. And so again, one of the things that we've heard a lot with this determination is really surrendering to the experience, whatever the experience happens to be, and allowing it to unfold in that magical way that in oftentimes you can't even predict what's going to happen, because it can be a struggle, it can be an effort, it can be an accident, it can be having cancer, it can be other types of physical breakdowns that sometimes you just need to surrender to it. And it's almost like your body needs that pause, needs that rest, and surrendering to the body to lead you to what's next. And what I find really fascinating, since all of you have some aspect of this particular strength, whether the whole strength or the opposite trait or the 46, is that each of you have had an experience where you really had to surrender to the body, which I think is really amazing.
Yes, and I didn't say that part, but yes, I did over the last 3 years. Again, like Linda was saying, I had been using my mind to make all my decisions, and my brain went offline. I had no choice but to just be fully in my body and really get in touch with it and allow it to. And so thankful that I was learning BG5 at the time, because I learned how to just follow my body around, paying attention only to my body signals. And another practitioner I was working with actually encouraged me to dance, to just get into the flow of and rhythm of your body just through dancing even. So that was really great. And Karen, I just wanted to let you know, there's a couple of people on the Facebook forum. Lisa Marie, she's got the 46-6 and 46-4 and the 46-6 twice. In her grounding and personality and her law and her judge and discipline, she says she's surrendered to the experience, moving in to explore. And if all the cells in my body feel good, it's correct. Life is a constant delight of discovering, and I'm constantly awe-inspired. So that's her experience of having that multiple times in her body too, or in her chart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And Maria's asking, what if you have trait 46 in the past direction? Linda, you have it in your future direction, right? So in your past direction, it depends on how old you are as well, but it's in a sense the lessons that you learn from your environment, either where you be or who you see in the environment. The more that you surrender to the environment, the more you surrender to the experience, the more serendipity takes place in being at the right place at the right time. Or just like Linda said earlier, it can be the opposite, not succeeding where others succeed, because if you're making decisions from the mind, you are not allowing that natural flow. So I hope that helps. And if we take a look at the quality for today is quality 1. This is about being discovered. Remember, whenever we're taking a look at quality 1, this is the authority. This is the dedication in obscurity that is unexpectedly discovered. So the elevation is the potential for creative success through dedication. This is the art for art's sake. This is any creative endeavor that is self-fulfilling, sooner or later is recognized. Now, I don't have trait 46. I don't have the 29 either, but I do have trait 46 as part of my grounding. One of the courses that I'm teaching right now is cycles. And in my 60-year cycle, which I'm moving towards, the 46 is part of the theme in being discovered. So again, it's when you have this dedication, you're doing the art for the art's sake, you're doing it because you love it, and that you're committed to it, and you're doing it because it brings you joy, it brings you satisfaction, it brings you fulfillment, it brings you peace, brings you success. When you're doing it that way, eventually you will be discovered. The challenge is the determination to recognize and benefit from the success of others. So it's the ability to judge the potential of those in obscurity, but often solely for the benefit of one's own success. So one is that you are doing the art for art's sake, and eventually you are discovered, or again, discovering someone else in a sense for the benefit of your own self. So I thought that was quite fascinating as well. With Anna, you have this trait 46 in quality 1. I would love to hear what your perspective on specifically the quality 1 is all about.
I can relate mostly to the creativity. I mean, that's my life force. I mean, that's, and I often do something. I mean, this might sound silly to other people, but I love hand washing my dishes. I don't use my dishwasher, partly because it's a wreck. I mean, it keeps getting fixed, and anyway. But for years, it's a very sensual process, and it's also, in the Greek mythology, there's the goddess Hestia, which is, she's the keeper of the hearth. She's sort of the central warm energy of the household. And I can relate to that energy a lot. And it's, it doesn't matter whether you're washing dishes, folding laundry, feeding the cat, feeding the kid, driving down the street. There's this creative, artistic element there that brings spirit forward. So I can really relate to this as that just sewing a button on, or wiping your child's nose or something. They're not just chores, they're love, they're devotion and dedication. It can be a very creative, graceful experience. And that's how you sort of generate that love. And it is about discovering what that experience is and how it affects another person. And the challenge is sometimes that energy has been used by others, or they have seen something in me and taken advantage of that. And I've had to learn boundaries. I've had to learn to say, no, 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 I'm not serving you. I'm not, providing, hosting you in this energy. This is a process of mine. You're welcome to join it and add to it. But if you're just sort of leeching off that energy, it just feels all wrong. It feels depleting. And that's where the coordination, the cooperation, working with another, if there's an exchange, lovely. But if it's sort of a one-way thing, you can be recognized, but it doesn't feel so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the same time, the elevation is you're recognized and it feels wonderful.
Yes. Yeah. Beautiful example. Yeah. Thank you, Anna. Really beautiful. Anything Shelley or Linda you'd like to add?
Yeah, I also have another perspective. What comes to mind is that this trait, and I feel like all the qualities are about surrendering to life without having an agenda coming from the ego. I feel like, and for me personally, when I surrender to life, literally, yeah, I also said, okay, I don't know what to do anymore. I was led to a place where, or maybe the role that I had to be in life, the role that I had to play in life, and that is from a different. It has a different driving force. And I feel like, and that's also what I see here, if you surrender and if you are focusing on your determination to fulfill your purpose in life, then life will bring you where you have to be and the serendipity and everything. But when it comes from a place from the mind, things are getting challenged. And then maybe other people will succeed and they will stand out and are being discovered, and also have the determination, and you fail because you are thinking too much that you want it. And I feel like it's everything about this trait is about surrendering and trusting that your body consciousness, with every sensory, everything that it has, your intuitive knowing, everything. I can't even name things, but that it will bring you at the exact place where you need to be. And then you also, your talent, because it's the first quality, it's the foundation of who you are. You also discover yourself if you surrender to life. Because it was only when I surrendered that I was able to see my foundation, who I am, what my talents and gifts are. But when I was searching for it through my mind, with my mind, and just determined to be successful in my life, having a kind of an image that I needed to work towards, that I needed to do things instead of being in life and experiencing life. Just then, when I surrendered, then it clicked. And now I feel like, okay, I am living my purpose. And now I'm being discovered, literally, in getting chances that I've never imagined that I would get them. So
I love that. Beautiful. Yeah, as Lisa said, let your body be your guide. Exactly. Exactly. Well, real quickly, let's go to our celebrity, and then we'll have some final words to take a look at what to pay attention to this week, and that's serendipity. We have actually an evaluator here today. This is H.G. Wells. He's a science fiction writer, and his life work theme is love. You are fully embodied and fully living in your body and enjoying the physical or sensual dynamic of relationships, dedicating to living life for life's sake. And H.G. Wells was an English writer best known for such science fiction novels as The Time Machine, The War of the Worlds, The Invisible Man, The First Man on the Moon, and The Island of Dr. Moreau. So again, and again, being this being discovered. He's probably writes because he loves to write. And it was through the love of the writing that he was also discovered as well. So again, remember, this is a love trait and it's grounded by a love trait. So it really is, in a sense, bringing forth what you really love to do and allowing your body to guide you where you need to go. All right. So just to wrap everything up, we already went through this piece. Again, if you're new to BG5, if you want to find out, do you have the 46? You can download your chart, your own personalized chart at the BG5 Business Institute. You can scroll down and find the charts. If you want to follow along with the theme of the day, you can go to BG5 Live. You can see what the theme of the day is. Again, if you go to bg5businessinstitute.com, find BG5 Live, it will show you what the trait is for the day. You can also watch past episodes in our free resource library. You can also watch the past episodes on YouTube as well. And again, you can still register for our courses. We just started our courses this semester, but you can still jump on board and register. So would love to have you be a part of one of our courses. Again, Linda is teaching the BG5 Foundation course. It is the perfect place to start. So I would highly, highly recommend it. Begin that journey, surrender to the journey, and see where it takes you. All right, so let's wrap everything up, and I would love to hear from each of our panel, and also if there are any additional comments either in the chat or the Facebook, we can add those as well. But what are some things that we're going to be, this week we're going to have trait 46 throughout this week. What are some things for people to be aware of, to pay attention to contemplate, since contemplate is also in the background frequency? What are some things to have people be aware of in this upcoming week? Would you like to start, Shelley?
Sure. There is one more comment in the Facebook chat from Andy. He's an innovator, and he noticed the serendipity of being in the right place at the right time only when he's initiating. And he has the determination to get the answer or get something right. But he's also feels like there's been a laziness, or that he's taken his body for granted because things come fairly easy. He doesn't work at it to be an expert. So that's sort of been his experience of it. He's got it multiple times in his design as well. So some similar themes to what Anna was talking about as well. The thing that popped up for me as you guys were talking again is what I noticed is before I understood my design, and when I would get to the place of burnout and too much mental confusion and exhaustion, the first thing I would go for is some kind of a physical, sensual relaxation thing, like go for a massage, go for acupuncture, go have reflexology. And it was like I needed those things to ground me back in my body. And since I've learned about my design and have shifted my focus away from my shadows to who I really am and understanding my energy resource, I no longer make decisions from my mind. So I'm not committing that energy to burn myself out. I haven't been for any of those kinds of treatments for over 3 years, where they were a regular occurrence when I was battling living my daily life in my head. I needed them every few weeks. I could have gone to one a week for all of them. So it was just so important to understand how my energy really works, to, nothing wrong with having a great massage. I think it's wonderful to experience that sensuality of being in the body. So for having this as a background frequency now, I would say for people that have this as an open trait, to just pay attention or notice how it feels to be in your body during this week. Do you notice it more? Is it easier for you to tune in, and easier for you to connect to your own decision-making strategy, even just being more aware of your body? Because all of our decision-making strategies come from within our body. So this week may be a really great week to help you get really tuned into your decision-making strategy if it's been a challenge for you.
Love that.
That's kind of what's come to me.
Yes, exactly. And I love that idea of really taking care of your body this week, and nurturing your body and being in touch with it. Beautifully said, Shelley. How about for you, Anna?
Well, I loved what both Shelley and Lynn talked about, as far as eating according to what your body's asking for, because there's all kinds of literature and advice and all this stuff about salt and fat and calories and exercise and blah, blah, blah. But your body is gonna know what it needs. And that brings me to an understanding of beauty, deep beauty, the real beauty, which is a shine, an energy. It's something that you experience directly through your body. And I would suggest, especially for people that can't relate a whole lot to their body, pick something, pick one thing to explore. It could be brushing your teeth, combing your hair, something about self-care, maybe getting a massage, maybe having the ice cream or whatever you think you shouldn't be having. But allow yourself the pleasurable experience of being in a body. This doesn't have to be extreme. It's not about being picture perfect beauty like Shelley was talking about, not the external part, but feeling the pleasure of being beautiful, a beautiful human being that doesn't need any fixing, that's whole, complete, lovely, in spite of, being off track at times, all that stuff. It's a beautiful process. So I would just suggest pick something.
Yeah.
Something that gives you pleasure and experiment with it. Find out more about how your body operates.
Love it. Love it. Beautiful, Anna. And I love what Lisa said. When you contemplate your breath, you can optimize your health. Yeah. Thank you for that, Lisa. And Linda.
Yes, I totally echo what Shelley and Anna shared. And I feel like it's also feeling the beauty of being alive. I feel like it's even, for me, it feels even deeper than, because the beauty is that we are here as unique beings, thinking we are in control and working our way around and feeling like we need to accomplish things. Well, while it's in essence all about surrendering to life and to go with the flow of life and we are all on a road of discovery. We don't know where life takes us with all the twists and turns, and loving the fact that you have a body that is able to be a vehicle, to guide you in this material world, where everything is, where we can be distracted by the beauty in the way that lots of people take a look at beauty, like you have to be really no wrinkles and forever young. But it's for me, it feels like this week also an invitation to to look beyond that and to feel the happiness of being alive, being here, and to surrender and to say, wow, I didn't know that it existed. And what I have learned from my experiences with a car crash and that kind of things, that every morning I wake up and I feel like I'm curious about what life brings me next. Without expectations. I'm just curious. And I'm just excited about being alive, love of life, love of the body. And of course, we all have our insecurities, but I feel like they are futile, because when you get ill, that kind of things that you feel like there's too much fat here or there, it doesn't make sense at all in one instant. The only thing that matters is your health. So enjoy life this week, surrender to life, let go of expectations, and feel what your body is telling you.
Love it. Perfectly said, Linda. Great way to wrap everything up. Well, thank you, everyone. Again, as Linda just said, surrendering to the life, recognizing how you feel in your body, and enjoy and follow your decision-making strategy. Again, get out of your head and really get into your body this week. Follow your decision-making strategy and let the serendipity and the magic of that serendipity take place. All right, everyone, have a fabulous week, and we'll see you all next week. Bye, everyone. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.